Hi guys, surprise. I know what you're thinking. Damn, that's a face for radio. And you'll be right, except no one will give me a job in radio. Go figure. So apologies for this. Apologies for this. My man cave, as you can see, doubles as an airing cupboard. Laundry everywhere as always. So critical channel update. Scary title, and I won't lie, it's a scary subject, so I'm going to broach it as carefully and constructively as I can. I'll start off with a little bit of backstory and a little bit of history. So for my older subscribers, those of you who were subbed to the channel, or at least used to watch it back in 2014, so we go back a ways here. You'll know at the end of 2014, I disappeared for like 5 months. And this is because I just got married, had a honeymoon, settling down, moving house, moving towns, in fact, to a different place with all the kids and new responsibilities. And in all honesty, during those 5 months, I wasn't sure if I was going to come back. I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to carry on casting because I just didn't know if I could realistically justify spending the time. And I was just about to come back from a kind of a 2-week break to do a few casts before I kind of, quit for 5 months. And I'd go to log on to FAF, and FAF isn't working. So I was like, pop onto some of the exterior chat channels, check out the forums and everything. And it turns out that Zepp had this enormous falling out with the senior guys at the community. He said, that's it, I've had enough, thrown his toys out of the pram and shut everything down. And for all we knew at the time, we thought maybe that was going to be it. So I did a video saying FAF is down, explaining the situation as best as I could for what I knew, which wasn't a huge amount at the time. But just to kind of give a bit of info out there. And I just listened to it back, actually. It's a really sad Gyle, man. Not good at all. It seems like I need some happy pills. Which I kind of could do with some at the moment. But anyway, a few days later, a few weeks later, the situation was rescued by Visionik, who has been our kind of mysterious benefit factor ever since. Now, for those of you that don't know, Visionik is a successful, fantastically successful businessman in the real world. He's very, what's the word? He's got a lot of stuff, we'll put it that way. He has a lot of stuff. And so he was like, he bought all the stuff off Zeph to serve as the code and everything, and was going to carry it up, carried on in the spirit with which was intended, and indeed expand on a few things. So it was all very exciting. But I couldn't really get involved because I was very busy. So I had about a 5-month gap. The last video before that I left for that 5-month gap was FAF is down, end of the world, terrible. And then in February 2015, I think, Visionik gets in contact with me and says, Gyle, you're one of the more senior casters in terms of sub numbers. I think I still was actually the most senior back then. Not sure, but something like that. And he said, your latest video is still FAF is down. That's kind of a terrible advert for FAF. Would you consider coming back and casting, and I would pay you? So I said, okay, all right, well, that's interesting. And we came to an arrangement, and that's what we've been doing ever since. He's been basically justifying a lot of the time that I spend on the channel, which I know could have been more, but I do what I can while I'm here in a house with kids of all ages, having to negotiate nap times and school runs and God knows what else, and holidays, which are a bastard. So those of you who were paying attention to a couple of casts ago, the little intro, I glossed over it. If you didn't know already, Visionik has now subsequently left, and he's handed everything back over to the community. So that effectively ends the arrangement that he and I had, and I'm now back in that situation I was back in February 2015, where I honestly didn't know if I was going to come back. And I'm in that position once again, and it sucks a lot, especially for the 70, 75, forget what the exact number is, backers that I've currently got on Patreon, and people who've donated direct to PayPal and everything, who have supported me, because I don't want to put them in a bad situation, because I really appreciate the support that they've gone. But I'm just here to say I can't carry on in the same way that I've been doing unless I get more support on Patreon. And I hate it, and I'm not trying to emotionally blackmail anyone here. This comes across as an enormous begging video, and I don't want it to seem like that, and I don't want it to seem like anyone's being blackmailed. I was considering just unilaterally saying, that's it, I've got to go, I'm sorry, but I know there are a lot of people out there who get a lot out of the channel and really enjoy, you know, watching fashion. Some even more than playing it. In fact, I know a lot more than playing it. So I wanted to give you guys at least the chance to see if we could come to an arrangement through Patreon that could allow me to keep casting. Now, I know it's awful, especially since it's something that people typically get for free, with the exception, obviously, of the occasional annoying advert. And I get it. I do get it. And I honestly, you know, I don't watch a lot of YouTube or a lot of other stuff, but I don't donate to any other channels either, so I completely understand, you know, if that's the way you feel, but I'm just simply putting it in your court. But I am suggesting that if you do get a lot out of the channel, you'd like to see it continue, and you would like to see the promotion of FAF continue through this channel at least, then consider just $1 a month, because I mean that's like $12 a year. That's, you know, a DVD for, and as opposed to DVD you might get an hour and a half's entertainment. This might be many hours of entertainment spread out through over the year. You know, if you live in the UK and you've got a small garden or a small patio, that might be half what you spend on Weed Killer just to keep it free of stuff. You can't tell me I'm not worth more than Weed Killer, man. I resent that. But anyway, that's just a few minor examples. And if we could increase the numbers, then we could potentially get to a point where I could increase the amount of casts that come out. My initial problems at the moment stem from justifying it, first of all, while I've got a household to run, and also just physically finding the time to get it done in a household where there's lots of things going on. But certainly if we got to a point where we were at $1,500 a month, that would easily allow for 1-2 casts a week to continue. Of course, if we got to, like, you know, 30, 45, 40, 45%, not 45, what am I talking about? Sorry, should be saying like 15, 20, 25% of my sub base, that kind of range, just doing $1 a month, which I'm under no illusions is never going to happen, because it would put me in like one of the highest tiers of subscriber to donator ratios on the whole of Patreon, so I'm pretty sure that's not going to happen. But if it did, then we'd be talking about being able to go out. I could rent a office somewhere and I could be putting out 5-6 casts a week. I could get new equipment, all of that stuff, but that's not even what I'm asking for at this point. All I'm asking for is enough to keep the channel alive, to justify it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to carry on for the next few weeks. I've got a couple of weeks of holiday which are going to be difficult, but I'll find a way, I'm sure, to get another video out per week over the holidays, at least. I'm going to try and keep going for like about the next 3-4 weeks, but if we haven't hit those kind of totals, then I'm going to have to think about calling it a day, and it really sucks. It really does, and I hope that it doesn't come to that. But like I say, just to reiterate, I'm not trying to blackmail you guys. I just wanted to put it out there in case there were enough people who were at least willing, giving them the option. And that's all this is. This is an option, guys, you know. So have a think about it. I'm not going to hold it against anyone if they're not feeling up to it. Feel free to slam me in the comments. I can take it. But just please accept this in the spirit with which it's intended, in the nicest possible sense. Alright guys, well, take it easy. I've got a couple of good replays that I'm sitting on. Hopefully get one out to you guys tomorrow or the day after. But until then, stay well and stay safe. This is Gyle, signing out.